Alright, so as most of you know from my last topic, I'm really into dogs, and so I decided to talk about puppy mills today. So, how many of you have heard what a puppy mill is? And how many of you think that puppy mills should be illegal? Puppy mills are places where dogs are bred at extremely high rates to produce large amounts of puppies to sell. In the US, there are about 10,000 puppy mills where dogs are living in poor conditions so that people can make a profit off of these puppies. Every year, approximately 2.1 million puppies are sold from puppy mills, while 3 million of these puppies are killed in shelters because there's not enough room for them or there's not enough adoptive homes for them. So, if about 3 million of these puppies are killed each year, why are we continuing to allow puppy mills to be legal? Male and female dogs that live in these puppy mills are being forced to breed. Once there's a buyer in sight, then the puppies are taken from their mothers and transported to the pet store to be sold. This process can be as early as a few days after the puppies are born, which is really not right. It shouldn't be done that way. In normal circumstances, puppies should spend at least 8 weeks with their mother before being separated because they have to learn how to feed and their eyes have to open in the first place, and then they have to learn how to be independent. While these puppies are being transported away, the male and female dogs are being bred again, which leaves no recovery time for the female who just gave birth. The cycle continues over and over again until they have reached an age where they are no longer able to breed because they are too depleted, and then they are abandoned or killed at the puppy mill. These poor dogs are living a life of continuous breeding until their bodies are so destroyed that they physically cannot anymore. The main purpose of puppy mills is to produce the highest number of puppies to gain the largest profit possible. This is the only thing that puppy mill owners care about, so the conditions of the facility for the dogs is just terrible. The dogs living at the mills are confined to small crates where they spend their entire lives breeding puppies, and then the puppies are confined in the small crate with this female dog. So, there's no socialization or exercise for the dogs ever. There is also no vet or grooming care to the male dogs, female dogs, or puppies at the mill. So anytime an animal gets sick or has a problem, there is no vet care for them, and the dog will either suffer until it dies or it's just put down by the person running the puppy mill. Since the people running puppy mills are in it for the money, they have put no care into the living conditions for the dog. This means that the dog could be sleeping in an old shack outside that hasn't been cleaned for years, so it's dusty and musty and just not good for the dog. Or it could simply be an old barn where the dog poops and pees everywhere and it isn't cleaned and has no protection from extreme weather conditions. These dogs could be lying in their own feces and shivering during the cold winter nights, yet we still continue to allow these puppy mills. These extreme conditions can lead to the dogs becoming sick and giving birth to puppies who could also be sick. There is no care put into the environment that the dogs are living at, and it is unfair to the dogs who have to spend their lives there, and unfair to the puppies who have to be born there, but it's also unfair to the people who have to buy the puppies from these mills. People who purchase dogs that have been bred from a puppy mill will typically say that the health issues of the puppy far outweigh the joys of having a new dog. Unfortunately, the poor conditions of these puppy mills cause the puppies to be born with health conditions that can affect them for their life or cause permanent damage. Some common health issues are malnourishment, swollen or bleeding paws from the wire cages they are confined to, ear infections, tooth decay, fleas and ticks, and eye lesions that could lead to possible blindness in the puppy. When getting a new puppy, owners should not have to worry about the health of their dog. They should be able to enjoy the puppy and trust it was from a good place. People who have to constantly be taking care of their new puppy can end up spending more money on vet bills than the dog itself. This can lead to the owners deciding to abandon the dog to a shelter because it comes too much, or the underlying health issues may overtake and they just have to put their dog down. So essentially, people are paying for this new dog, they're spending this amount of money, then they're going to the vet and spending this amount of money and possibly just abandoning it or putting it down. So you spent all this money pretty much to watch your dog live for maybe a year, if even. Some people may say that puppy mills are positive because there is such a high demand for puppies and the only way to keep up is because of these mills. Although that is true, there is a very high demand for puppies. Any owner who is looking into purchasing a new dog would agree that they want their puppy to be in good health and from a good caring breeder. Puppies are expensive to own, and trying to potty train a new puppy is an even bigger undertaking. If these new owners had to spend more money and more time continuously going to the vet, it would ruin their puppy experience. This could lead to abandonment of the puppy and a tarnished image that anytime they try to get a puppy, it would be this horrible process. It slows down the demand for these puppies, and ultimately the continuous birthing of these puppy mill puppies will lead to no homes for them because everybody wouldn't want a puppy who would be sick right away. So anybody looking into getting a new puppy would be willing to wait to get a puppy from a good, reliable breeder where they know their puppy will be in good health. In conclusion, the sales of puppies from puppy mills should be stopped, and puppy mills should be illegal altogether. The dogs living at a mill are exposed to terrible conditions, and the puppies from these mills usually have health problems, which results in both of them being put down at a much earlier age than the lifetime expectancy of their breed. Dogs should be able to live in an environment where they are properly fed, exercised, and cared for, not in an environment where they are literally dying a slow death just so someone can make a profit off of them. If you have your own dog or are just someone who loves dogs, you will understand how hard it is to imagine an innocent animal living in such poor conditions. Dogs at puppy mills are living a life that just leads to a premature death, and they should be illegal. Thank you.